Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Because now I know when something happens in our lives that is unexpected, you have to go into it in order to ever have any hope of coming through it. So when you go, guess what? When you come out the other side, you grow.
Brought out more in me than I thought that I didn't even know that I had.
That has given all of us a great hope for what we can do with our own messages, our abilities to deliver, but most importantly, to deliver it in an authentic and very, very intriguing way.
Have you ever been in something or felt something where the only way you felt you could deal with it was to leave, get away? I thought that was the meaning of control. It took me 4.5 years to stop looking around the room of my life, of my journey, of my purpose, digging in cushions for a remote that never existed. Looking, re-looking, going back and upgrading, bringing in and pulling out things that do not serve you must go. Those things out in this world that are designed to bring us down, to keep us down, put their foot on our neck and whisper to us that we're never good enough, they don't whisper. They yell at us from all directions, top to bottom, bottom to top, side to side, side to side, corner to corner, and corner to corner, 365 days. When somebody asks you about yourself, don't you dare whisper. When they ask you to raise your hand, don't you dare half raise it. When they ask you something good about you, you scream it with all you have. Come on now, get up, get up. Tell me who you are. Show me who you are. Greatest truth of all, that not everyone has to remain lost.
You can navigate the legal and emotional journey of divorce and exit a marriage the way you entered it, with mindfulness, love, and respect. Solace Divorce Mediation is a full-service law practice helping couples focus on the health and well-being of children and their forever co-parenting family. Our streamlined divorce journey offers flat fees with an estimated completion time frame of 2 to 4 months. If you or a friend need us, visit solacedivorce.com.
Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Boy, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind. But you walk right past me, pretending like you don't see what's yours for the taking tonight.
I'm going to tell you what's yours. This opportunity to get with it. Wake that ass up. Ain't no sleeping up in here. It is Friday. Ooh. T to the G to the I to the F. Yes, thank you, Jesus. It's Friday. We made it. We made it. We made it. As we always do. You know we do. It don't seem that way sometimes on the front end, right? But look, nonetheless, we get there. That's right. And what I love about that is it's easier. It is more enjoyable. It is more fulfilling when we get there together. And how do we do that? We do that just like we're doing right now, fulfilling that promise. It is my number one favorite promise. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then comes no weapon formed against you. I love that one too. But the first one is that guarantee that when two or more of us come together and we come together with that same mindset of service, that spirit of service, you know what I'm talking about. Can I get an amen? You know what happens. Spiritual magic. Plain and simple. Spiritual magic. So, look, in case you can't read lips, there's something wrong with your sound today, or you just ain't paying attention, read it. Can I get an amen up in here? You thought I didn't hear you didn't say it? Yeah, I heard you didn't say it. Say it. When we agree, we set it into motion, y'all. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. It's a great day in the neighborhood. It's a great day to be alive. It's a great day, period. It is going to be a cold one here in Chicago today. They're expecting, anticipating, predicting, take your pick, 8 to 10 inches of snow. So I ran to the grocery store yesterday morning after the health club. Food sure is expensive, ain't it? I had maybe 3 bags, and I mean in little plastic bags yesterday. It's $122. Today, I said, I'm going to see if it's just the way they pack it. So I went through the self-checkout. I stuffed my little 4 bags, $158. Lord, right? I think I need to learn how to garden or can or do something. I don't know, but I'm going to eat right. Matter of fact, I'm eating right this morning. Look at that. Look how plump these blueberries are. Mm-hmm. Oatmeal. Blueberry got my Nana and a Tangelo. And my good girl, y'all know this is my sidekick. She's my Ed McMahon. Hi, good morning. Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo here every day, has been for 6 years. Mm-hmm. That's the bell of purpose. Y'all who've been here know it is not a prop. It's a reminder. It's an opportunity, because just like when that bell rings, you hear a ring to it. When you hear truth, you ought to hear a ring to it. Save you a lot of steps, a lot of trouble, a lot of stumbles if you learn to tune in to what is attached to your first mind. Your first mind is what's attached directly to the Creator. Everything after that is second. That's why they call it second guessing. You can't guess your way into purpose. I'm just saying, I tried it for 50 years. It don't work. It does not work. Find yourself embroiled in a whole bunch of conflict, internal conflict. And that's where it usually starts, and then works its way out into everything around us. Why? Because conflict does not serve us. Now, you heard it in the clip. Everything that does not serve you must go. So today we're going to help some of that conflict go through learning a little bit about conflict resolution. Now, a couple of weeks ago, Lynn Hurdle Price was here, and she opened the door to it. Remember her? I said she was from Chicago, and she almost knocked my teeth out my mouth. Talking about, I ain't from no Chicago. I'm from the Bronx. I was like, okay, dang. Did you have? I'm just playing. She did not pull a Will Smith. No, she did not. Don't start no rumors. Won't be nothing. So anyway, but she opened the door to the conversation, and then she hit me up. You know how mamas are. They gonna get about that bad boy. She go push her son out front. Going, that's my boy. He know how to do it too. I said, do what?
She said, conflict resolution has been doing it since he was 10 years old. I believe that was the number she gave me. And he's here today. Justin Hurdle Price. Excited, even though he said I didn't catch him sleeping when I came in. You know, they can do all kind of stuff, be making their phones, they can be texting stuff, be just asleep. Watching y'all. But I'm so excited about the young people in this world today. Last weekend, some of you may remember, I was in, I almost said Mexico, Miami with my coaching clients, and the age range was from 18 to 81. And boy, all us old schoolers, us, what are we, Gen Xers and baby boomers, we learned so much from the millennials, the Gen Xers, the Gen Ys, all of that. And I'm knowing that we're going to learn today. But before we I'm going to wait and get him in here. Let me read a little bit. I bet his mom wrote this bio. You know, I'm telling you. Okay, I'm just playing, Justin. I know you did your own. So Justin Hurdle Price started facilitating conflict resolution workshops for young people and adults. Yep, I was right. At the age of 10, he has co-facilitated workshops in schools and for nonprofits, and also at national conflict resolution conferences all over the country. He worked as a trainer coach for youth from all different backgrounds and helped to design workshops for parents, teachers, and young people. Now, currently, he works for Hur Communication Solutions as a strategic communication specialist. This involves designing cutting-edge workshops that address the issues of the current times, including topics like talking with tweens, teens, young adults about racism, and working with and managing people who have anxiety. Now, there's a whole bunch more in there, because that's how I know his mama wrote it, because, you know, they don't know when to stop talking about their babies. They don't. But I'm not even going to go there. I'm going to wait and let him tell you. Like my nieces and nephews tell me, I can show you better than I can tell you, Lord. And I'll be thinking that's a threat. You got by with that one. Let me hear it say it again. I ain't playing. I ain't scared. They think I ain't scared. I'm serious. Sound like a threat to me. Come on with it. Come on. I'm just playing. So anyway, here he comes. You know he's never been here. So put on your best today. Share this broadcast out right now. You may think, what is that going to do? Let me tell you, the first thing it's going to do is going to bring a blessing your way. You will be blessed in the manner in which you bless others. Somebody sitting somewhere today that needs to hear about this. Anger is tearing down their walls of productivity. Conflict is blinding them to opportunity, on and on and on. Just send it out. You don't got to know the inside scoop. Do your part. So what is greater than can do its part for you. Can I get it in there? Going to share it out. I'm going to wait a second. You. I see you just said, you better pick up that phone. Yeah, you. Okay, now. Y'all don't think, see, my husband don't believe I can read his mind either. Every time you just lucky. You sure can't guess what I'm thinking of. Okay, keep thinking. You don't believe fat meat greasy. So, anyway, here's how we roll out the virtual red carpet, get on our feet for a virtual standing ovation, and just show love from the rooter to the tutor. That's putting some hearts on the screen, because here he comes, y'all. Welcome. This young man's going to blow your mind. Justin Hurdle Price. I know what just happened, by the way.
What just happened?
You think I don't know? Your mama came out while that thing was playing down. Came out and went, oh, come here.
Nope.
She did it before. I bet you she did it before. Every black mama has done that. Lick their finger and they start doing your eye. You ever had that?
Oh, of course. But I will tell you this. We did pray before we started. So
I don't know why they do that. I used to be so mad. I'm like, that's nasty. Quit. Come here. You got something on. Oh. But anyway, welcome to the show, Justin Hurdle Price. How you feeling this wonderful day?
I'm feeling great. Definitely feeling energized from your intro and the energy of the show. And it's definitely an honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Now, y'all see he keeps stopping and starting freezing. That's the internet. You know, they be mad when we got something powerful up in here. They be mad, but I don't care. They can scratch their behind and get glad. I don't care. We have dominion over everything on this earth as the only creatures that speak. So, I'm going to tell the internet and everything else right now, go somewhere, quit playing, leave us alone. Now, go on out of here. We got some work to get done. Ain't that right, Justin?
Yes, we do. Absolutely.
Yes, we do. So before we get started, I'm going to let you have just a moment. You'll know when I'm coming back in that it's time for us to move on, but I like every guest to have just a personal moment with the audience, just to tie in and maybe pick up something I left out, read between the lines for them, and then I'll pop back in. So right now, it's all you. Take it away.
Cool. Thank you. So, hey everyone, Justin Hurdle Price here. It's an honor to be here. Definitely just, grateful to, as Dr. Harris said, be breathing. It's definitely an honor to wake up today. And so, started facilitating and working in conflict resolution at the age of 10. That was honestly all by choice. My brother, who's 6 years older than me, we, got offered the opportunity to see what this was about. And my mom had been taking us to conferences and things like that when we were babies and stuff. So we were around conflict resolution and things like that our whole lives. But once we got old enough to, want to make some money and things like that, during the summers, that's when we started to work in this program that my mom and aunt both ran for about 30 years called EARS, which stands for Effective Alternative and Reconciliation Services. And I think the biggest thing that EARS has done for me has instilled a lot of principles. It's instilled a lot of self-esteem. And I noticed early on in life that self-esteem is probably the one thing that we in this world care about the most, and that is easily manipulated and controlled. And so to wake up early every morning, in the summers, and dress up in polos and suits and things like that, and talk about the things that were going on in our lives and how we could handle these situations in better ways, definitely has helped make me the man I am today. And it's a lot of fun. I honestly have a lot of fun.
How old are you?
21. I'm 21 now, currently.
Okay, yeah, you legal. I was gonna say you ain't no grown. You ain't grown, but you are. You are grown.
Yep.
But you're still in the youth sector of this world, and I'm glad for that, because a lot of times us old folks, or older people rather. Oh please, y'all know we old. Just be grateful. Be grateful. We think we know everything. A lot of us think, oh, I brought you in this world, I'll take you out. My way or the highway. I'm too old of a cat to be licked by a kitten. That was my mama saying. And we can learn a lot from the young people. And so I'm hoping for that today. Before we get started, I want, first of all, a lot of people, when they hear conflict resolution, it translates in their mind to breaking up fights.
Yeah.
That's what they think.
Yeah.
That's not it at all, is it?
No. Not right.
I know, and we're gonna peel that onion today. We're gonna pick that scab today. So I thought it'd be great so that we have some stuff to work from, because you primarily your work is focused with young people, and that's great, because if they can get that crusty thing off of them early, they can move through everything as they build out their journey. So I wanted to show something. We're not going to watch. It's a 7-minute clip. We're not watching the whole 7 minutes, but I will provide the link in the show notes at the end in case you want to go back and watch the portion that we don't see here today. But it's a great way for us to kick things off, to get Justin's take on what he's hearing here. So this is a piece I found on Facebook, and as you see there, it's got PBS NewsHour, a reputable source, 3.56 million subscribers to this channel, and so it is a credible source. And I mentioned that because you got to watch where you get what you take and put inside your hard drive, right? Put on there. You can put all you want on your thumb drive, but when you commit it to something permanent, make sure your sources are credible. So here, schools resolve conflicts by getting kids to talk things out. Let's take a look.
When it comes to student misbehavior, many schools across the country have zero-tolerance policies, which often lead to suspensions. These policies disproportionately affect students of color. But now some school
Here's
districts,
a
including those
surprise.
in San Francisco, Denver, and New York City, have turned away from zero tolerance and replaced it with what is known as restorative justice. In these programs, students are encouraged to resolve conflict by talking about the root causes of their behavior. NewsHour Weekend visited a New York high school campus taking part in a 4-year-long study of restorative justice practices. Megan Thompson has the story.
Thank you, Megan.
Let's do a quick check-in. Just give me a one word about like how your week has been.
In a 9th grade civics class in Brooklyn, New York, Erica Wright is encouraging students to talk to each other and build trust. It's part of a new program known as Restorative Justice.
All the kids have been asking for trips.
A team from the nonprofit Center for Court Innovation works at the high schools on Canarsie Educational Campus, where the majority of the students qualify for free or reduced price lunch. The campus is in an area that has traditionally had one of the highest suspension rates in the city.
Our students have incredibly adult-sized problems, but don't always have adult-sized resources.
Mishkael Setut is a restorative justice coordinator.
What restorative justice allows us to do is to look beyond the behavior and look at some of the root causes and see how can we prevent this from turning into something much bigger. So now if a student gets into a fight, the question isn't how bad was the fight and how many days is that suspension worth? The question is, well, what do we do to make sure that you don't have another fight?
The last time that we met, you guys had a conflict with each other.
Just into its first year, the project is part of a citywide effort to reduce suspensions and increase safety.
So just what's been going on? How was your week?
This is called a harm circle, where Erica Wright mediates conflicts between students.
My week has been kind of calm.
Passing a baton, known as the talking piece, junior Tony Deary and freshman Shane Dover are discussing what happened after school one day in February.
I was walking on Rockaway Parkway, and he hit me, and we got into an altercation.
Came up to him and tried to discuss with him, but I didn't take it the way I was supposed to. I actually put matters in my own hands, and then I ended up fighting him.
We have the time to where we can actually facilitate a real conversation, and it's not like, okay, we just don't want you guys to fight, but it's like, what was the root of the fight? How have you guys been since that time?
The way I handle my stuff is usually I handle it with violence, but ever since I've encountered the mediation circle, I've learned how to control my anger and just talk about it. Because talking doesn't hurt. It's better to use your words than to use violence.
Okay. All right. We got enough. We got something there. Oh, wait. I didn't mean to do that. I mean to do this. There. Okay. So I saw you shaking your head, Justin, in agreement with, especially when the talking piece, excuse me, passed around. But let's start with the restorative justice. I never heard that until this morning. I'm assuming you're familiar with that.
Yeah, for sure.
When did that come in?
So restorative justice for me, both my parents are social workers. So, my dad, who passed, rest in peace, Warren Price, he as well he graduated from John Jay, and as well was doing some stuff in I believe it was cases that had to deal with like families in certain situations that the home was very much like a hostile environment and things like that of that nature. And the reason why that was cool was because I got the perspective from him of the adults in that situation. And then working with my mom in the summers, we had some of those kids who were in these types of environments who were coming and working with us and yes, exhibited behaviors that were beyond, things that they could put a language to, like things that they could really speak to, so that they could address these things and try to fix the environment that they're living in and that they have to, grow up in. And so it was really, really interesting because, I'm thinking, it's the parents' fault and all this stuff, and they need to do this because they're the parents, and I don't know why kids can't do this and whatever. And it just gave me the perspective of, as the video said, people of color, disproportionately being affected by these issues, how generational, these traumas and these experiences are, and so it's really important to be able to address what that stuff is for the root, to the root. And that's exactly what I think restorative justice is on a larger scale.
Restorative justice. That is a powerful phrase right there. I'm serious. I'm going to do some research.
Yeah.
That talking piece thing I'm familiar with because I've seen it many times when I speak at schools, and then I get to, oftentimes they'll have me come early before my keynote. You know, like if it's an assembly later in the day, I'll come in the morning and just hang out in some of the classrooms. And I've seen that where they pass something, a ball or, you know, some object, to give each person, talk about what that is and why that's, because I saw you shaking your head like, yes, that's how it's done. Because I could see that working in a family meeting, you know, because I remember when I grew up, I was in a foster home, the Valentines, and when they had family meetings, they didn't pass the thing around, but they had a rule: you couldn't butt in, and you couldn't when it was your turn, and someone said, well, my name was Larry then, and they'd say, Lauren or Larry, you last week, you said you were going to do this, and you didn't. The first thing I do, well, the only reason I didn't was because you, and they say, no discounting. You cannot discount. I remember that to this day. So tell us about these circles. I bet you participated in a month of Sundays worth. So talk about why the piece is so effective to pass around. What is it instilling in each person that receives it, as well as those who are, you're just in the circle. And have you ever seen it when it's passed to somebody? Can you say, I don't want it, and pass it on?
Yeah. So I was nodding because I absolutely love the talking piece. We used it in our own household and used it when my brother and I were growing up. You know, we did weekly check-ins that my parents would run with us, and, you know, we all got to speak. And so talking pieces, you know, can be anything, right? It can be any object, but usually if you want it to be something that, you know, means something to you, you know, as you're passing it around, or if you're facilitating, you want it to be something that means something to you and is of sentimental value. And so it's really important because it instills listening. It's as simple as that. People love to listen. People love to listen up until the point that they can agree, disagree, butt in, as you said, right? Discount. And when that's our motive going into listening, that's not even listening, that's hearing, right? And so when we have the talking piece, this is my time, right? I'm being vulnerable in this moment and holding this thing of sentimental value, right? So I'm going to hold the feelings of the previous person that was talking, right? And it really gives you the perspective to go deeper, right? When you're in a circle and, you know, people are being honest about some of their lived experiences, about, you know, the household that they're living in, about the way they grew up, talking about some of the issues that they have that they're dealing with on a daily basis. When you are receiving that piece, you feel the energy from that piece. So when you feel that energy,
empowering.
Absolutely, it's empowering, and it makes you tap into another person's shoes. So,
yeah, and you know what I'm thinking, man. Seriously, I'm like, okay, what can we use between, you know, me and my husband? Because my thing is this: he is a therapist, so he knows how to listen, right? Yeah. But not my blood. I almost said something, but not me. I almost said my right. Yep. I'm just being real. Because here's what I do: I have ADHD, but I'm blaming it on that. When I think I'm right, the person can be talking, but I'm most likely gonna step on everything they saying, and I'm not even really effectively listening because I'm just waiting for them to take a breath so I can jump in, butt in. Yeah. So I'm like going in my head, okay, hurry up. Mm-hmm. So I'm already formulating my response instead of listening to what they're giving me, and I'm not receiving it, and I miss a lot. Yeah, because I'm so sure that it's my way or the highway. So this thing allows everybody to hold space, this talking, and it's respecting. It means that this person has the floor. When they're done, you're going to know they're done because they're going to pass the piece. Love it. Love it. And you said you grew up with this inside your home dynamic, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this. When you were 10 and you started doing this, now you go out and you hanging with your little homies and stuff, and you see, Malik and Trey getting ready to fight over the basketball. I can just see you, hold up, stepping out there. How was that when you were that young with your peers? Did they look at you like, if you don't think what you want some too? How was that? What was that like? Was it very difficult? Did your peers think you thought you were better than them? How did you weave that into your relationships with your homies?
Yeah. I always got
mixed beat up yourself.
Yeah. I always got mixed reactions. But yeah, specifically with my homies, it's just like, well, this is me, right? It's not that I don't understand that things happen, emotions can get high, and we say things, we do things, we want to naturally respond, due to our human nature with our fists or with whatever, right? When our backs against the wall. But that, I was just always about there's another way, like there's just another way. We don't have to go there, especially if we're friends, especially if we're boys, our moms know each other and things like that. There's no reason for us to be, going home bloody and all this stuff. And, we're doing it to ourselves, you know what I mean? And so for me, I definitely at times in the moment, I think a lot of people would be like, well, yeah, exactly. What are you talking about? Get up out of here, whatever, let us at it. But, the more that I just came around as with that energy, people knew, it's not that things can't happen, but if I'm around, we're going to talk about it. We're not going there.
I got a good one for you now. This is a good one for real. I
Give it
bet
to
you ain't never been asked this one.
Give it to me.
But I bet you haven't. What is it within us? And y'all, quit playing. You may not be now if you're an adult, but once upon a time, when I was a kid, be walking down the hallway or minding my own business, let me hear somebody say, a fight. Everybody take off running. Where they at? Especially girls, because they be getting it in. What is it? Even on social media, you see people love and they be having millions of views. The fight on the street. I just saw something the other day where even though it was supposedly a bully getting beat up by somebody he had been bullied, but there was nothing outside of what the person said, like they could have made that up. And people were like supporting it because, that bully's getting what he's got coming. But it felt wrong from all directions. What is it within us that makes people, I know people like to go see boxing and MMF and all that, and does that have something to do with it too? That's a little off topic, but I'm sure it has something to do with how we're groomed to enjoy watching people beat up on each other. But as a young person, when you're in elementary school, what is that thing you think, Justin, within us that makes us just love to see two people fight?
Wow. I love that you just said that because you're right. I've not been asked that ever. Yeah, you did tell me ever. But that's a great question. And I think you honestly started to touch on the answer, which is we are groomed to enjoy violence. Violence is all that we see, especially as young people, right? I can pull up a video right now on my phone, just scrolling on Instagram, and I guarantee you there's a fight somewhere. Not because I follow the UFC, not because I follow boxing. These are actual combat sports that I love and appreciate, but literally just the act of violence and blood and gore and things like that. That's what we see, and that's what's pushed out there all the time in the media. And so for young people, when you first get your phone, right, or you first start to get a social media and things like that, it doesn't start that way. Like usually you get a whole bunch of nice stuff or sports stuff or clothing stuff and things like that, but it's all a part of the algorithm to get people to not use their words, especially people of color, so that we can continue to, fund this country and this world by having us honestly, locked up, and if not locked up, dead. And so it's very sad, but it's also something that I picked up very quickly as I was fortunate enough to be a part of ears and things like that, and do this work. But I had the double-edged sword of being in the locker room with these kids and going to parties and things like that. And there's just something about fighting that's easier, and throwing a punch that's easier than addressing, well, why am I even balling my fist up?
Right.
What's my
When
trigger?
I was a little kid, my family, my adoptive family, used to, and I understand today why I didn't.
Yeah.
Because I'd be called sissy and this and the other, bullied, and they'd say, you need to fight. They'd try to show me how to fight and, do this. Next time you don't fight, you getting a whooping. I'd hear that, right? But it just didn't feel like a natural thing to me. I did not care to resolve it that way.
Yeah.
Later in life, I learned that if I had to fight, I could. But when I would jump to my feet without thinking, I didn't question my ability, was when I was defending someone, the underdog. That taught me something. What it did, it didn't teach me that I wanted or loved fighting. It taught me that I was a creature of service. And then I decided to find out more about that than more about, maybe I can be a great fighter. Okay. But here's something. Here's a piece to chew on. Now, here I am, 60 years old, and I promise you, this is the thing I've asked God every day that we're working on. This is my big piece this year, is scrubbing out of my spiritual bathtub, that bathtub ring that has been left there by anger. And I'm not one of those people that's slow to anger. No, I'm a knee-jerk kind of guy. I go from zero to hero, and then usually there's no talking me off the cliff. And it has cost me in numerous ways over the years, and it's far and few between today. However, every time it rears its ugly head, nonetheless, it still slams me and makes me feel that way that I don't like any longer. And I struggle with, why is this anger thing so long lasting? Could you talk about the roots of anger? What have you found in your work in 11 years at 21 years old? And you've been doing it for 11 years. How much of this is anger based?
Yeah, I think about all of it is anger based. Honestly, I think all of it's anger based. And, people of color have a right to be angry. I think there's this notion that, we're exaggerating our experiences, we're fabricating stories and all these things, but these are real things that happen to us, right? So I remember my first time, being called the N-word. That was in like 6th grade. So
yeah,
you think about the jump from 5th grade to 6th and really what that entails, right? Elementary to middle school. And it's literally recess and juice boxes to, okay, maybe playing organized sports on like the team and things like that. So there's a little bit of growing up. However, it's like when I think about that, I'm thinking, who taught you that? And how at that age did you know that? And I sit to this day with anger of why did that happen? How did that happen? What adult allowed that to happen, right? Because there were no repercussions. And so anger is a big part of it, because sadly we don't get to see or learn about the people that truly have empowered us. We know that honestly the science behind it shows, I'm not trying to go into history and all that stuff, but from slavery, right? That's 400 years of trauma, of murder, of discrimination, of just everything of the worst that could happen in this world, with no real sanctuary built for healing from that. we have to create our own sanctuaries. We have to create our own environments. That's why we do these circles. It's why we have the talking piece, because we have to create the safe space ourselves. And so we want help and realize that, we can't get a lot of it. We don't get a lot of it. And if we do, it's not genuine. If we don't, go and look into our history and look into our own stuff and how that's triggering us, we're going to be walking around in anger and living in anger. And that's only going to cause us to play right into white supremacy's hand.
Correct. I want to pivot if I could. I'm looking at a screen right now because it changes daily. When we were still within the month of February, I saw a thing on CBS, and I was on the road speaking for the past 2 weeks, and I've never brought this up on stage. Wasn't a piece of my keynote, but you guys out there, I told you about this 2 weeks ago when I was in St. Louis. I did a breakout session around 3:30 in the afternoon, and then came back at 8 p.m. and did the keynote. And I mentioned when I was on stage at 3:30 about the mass shootings. And at that point, because I Googled right before I went on stage, it was at 68. By the time I came back, it was up to 69, and it was 6 deaths. It was the biggest casualty count to date. At that point, ABC News had said we've had more mass shootings this year than we've had days. And I'm looking at the current March 1st, just 3 days ago, 2 more mass shootings, one in Cocoa County or Cocoa City, Florida, and then one in Washington. 4 people killed in Florida, 1 person killed in Washington. So I said all this to ask you, let's talk about this piece if we could. What in the world? Conflict resolution. Now, when you were 10 years old, these mass shootings things really weren't a big deal yet.
Yeah.
We had Columbine and things like that, but they were rarities. They were like, if you were going to lay them out like serial killers, they were every so. And now it is a daily, multiple daily occurrence. Talk about what goes through your mind. Because I know you get asked about young black man, police this and pull over and all of that. But I'm talking about everybody, because even every child no child should fear living through the day.
Absolutely.
At school. This country has failed us. And I want to know your take on it as a 20-year-old man, not black man, not but tell me what goes through your mind when you see this. Do you sense a trend? How do you evaluate it?
So I'm sad. I'm sad that this is just such a normal thing now, that kids literally are showing up to school afraid. They're not showing up ready to learn. They're showing up ready to protect themselves. And so for me, right, I'm thinking about everyone. And the reality is, I think that everyone is a bit shameful of themselves for whatever reason, right? But everyone's holding a bit of shame. Everyone's holding a bit of guilt. Everyone's holding a bit of their own thing. And especially we're talking generations. There's science that shows that if again, there's no real sanctuary for healing, then these problems are only going to increase. And so I think everyone needs to realize that in order for us to speak about we are this human race, we are this one race, we are one and we are together in this life, we have to actually address our stuff. We have to actually talk about our triggers. We have to even address what they are. And me, I will say this from a person of color standpoint, right? Therapy has saved my life. I'm a huge advocate for therapy. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do what I do if I wasn't able to call myself out, right, on my own actions. on my own words, on my own behaviors, and try to change certain trends, right? And so I say that as a Black man because we definitely need more talking, but honestly, everyone could benefit from, if not therapy, some type of therapeutic circle, right? Using talking pieces and things like of that nature. Everyone needs to be able to adjust their stuff. We're all angry. We're all sad. We're all getting uh, pushed the same messages and push the same agendas of violence, of, swing now or shoot now and ask questions later. And the reality is we need to reverse that formula.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I wanna touch on something. And it's that place that people tell you, oh, you don't want to talk about politics or religion.
Yeah.
Forget all that. Because this particular topic, conflict, we've talked about conflict with others. We've touched on internal conflict. Now, what about, I don't know what your belief system is, what you ascribe to, but nonetheless, as someone who does this work, you have to know all shades of the paint strip, if you see what I mean. So let's talk about spiritual conflict. Good versus evil, light versus dark, spiritual conflict. And I think it ties into because people used to seek and find their way, and there is an awakening happening. You're finding more people that are spiritual based coming on out and talking about it. So just from your own standpoint as a 21-year-old conflict resolution expert, how important is it, in your opinion, that people have something to believe in other than just themselves, whether they're a Big Bang believer or a creationist?
I think that's absolutely vital. I know for me, I believe definitely in energy. I believe that we are balls of energy. I believe we are sources of energy. I believe we are outlets. And so because I think that, or because I feel that and live that, I think that there's something out there that's higher and bigger than me, right? Just naturally thinking that way. And the reality is that's the truth. There is something bigger than us. There is something that created this world and created our functioning and created our ways of thinking and our cells and our bodies and things like that. And so it's really just being able to step outside of yourself and what you see and what you know for you and all that stuff, and being able to put yourself in either another person's shoes or even just feel the grass a little bit when you're outside and it's a nice summer day and you're hanging out, right? You're throwing the ball around or you're going for a swim, right? Just really taking a deep breath in that nature and in that fresh air and questioning, how did this happen? How did this come to be? I think just starting with questions and asking questions and curiosity is really where you'll find answers, not
I agree.
acting.
I agree. And speaking of answers, earlier, you mentioned your parents, God rest your father, so who's passed on, both social workers. Your mom was here just a few weeks ago. All parents, I would think, or the great majority thereof, they have that innate desire to leave the world better for their children than they found when they were children.
Yeah.
Now, you're 21 years old and you've been doing this conflict resolution work since the age of 10.
Yeah.
Let's just fast forward for the sake of conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward to the you of 75 or 80 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I know you'll most likely be doing the same work, or I really do, because I believe it's just a natural part of who you are.
Yeah.
It is a divine gift. I see that. It's because you said it was of choice. Nobody pushed you into this.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you, when you look at where you're at in this world, where we're at, and then you think about where you want to get with it, because you have to have a plan, and that's what forces us to look at the needs of ourselves and the world. What do you see it? Do you feel anything that lets your spirit know that it will one day get better? Or
What? I know that's a tough one.
Yeah. That's
Because it doesn't look like it is right now.
Right. That is a tough one. And that's tough simply because, right, I have the double-edged sword, as I was talking about before, even to this day, being in this work, being able to speak to, established individuals like yourself, and grow up with someone like my mom and with someone like my dad who were in this work. I have that perspective, but I also am a young person. I am, like I said, still in the locker rooms with these kids. I'm still, playing ball, and now, well, I'm 21, so now I'm going out and I'm hitting the bar with these kids, and so I'm getting instilled more. I'm adding more to my toolbox with how I handle these conflicts, and that's from my work, but I'm also seeing more of what our young people need as I'm out there with them. And the reality is we need more talking. We need more questioning. We need more addressing of our triggers. We need more accountability for our behaviors, right? And that accountability, I believe, as it said in the video, is not exactly, well, how long are we going to keep you out of school and stuff, or how long are we going to keep you out of our friend group or something like that. It's okay, well, what was that about? Where did that come from? Have you been in a situation like that before? And again, how do we prevent this from happening in the future? And for me, when we talk about leaving a legacy and future and 75, 80, how I, want to make this world better, I'd love to just build, whether that's in the form of a school or just, actual buildings or whatever, for kids to be able to speak about this stuff and to lead circles and to learn how to lead circles and to, be involved in conflict resolution and RJ the way that I was when I was.
Yeah. We agreed that a lot of this, the roots of it is steeped in anger, but now that I've been thinking about it, I'm pretty confident to speak to the culprit, which I believe is fear.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's so much fear now. It's just, and it does not serve us.
Yeah.
And I say that, and so, I want to make an offer to you. I want to put it out there. Anytime this year you want to do it, we'll do it. But I think it's time to have something like a 90-minute television special with a 30-minute Q&A after it. So do a full 2 hours.
Yep.
And let you put together a panel, 6 to 8 peers of yours of all races and creeds and genders and sexuality orientations and all of this as much as you can, because I know you have your finger on that pulse, and I would love to just offer you a 90-minute television special with that half-hour Q&A to get this conversation started, because I want all of us old roosters and crows and hens to sit back and listen, because you all are inheriting a shitstorm from us, and I'd be pissed off too. But we need to get past that somehow, and I want to hear you and your peers' thoughts on this. Is that something you might be interested in?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And, that I would love that. That's perfect.
Okay. So that is there. That is there. You can pick any Saturday from June forward. When I come back from Romania in May, anytime from there forward, I would love to put this together with you. I just want to say, as we wrap this show up, because it went so quickly, how proud I am. I'm encouraged, and I feel a lot more confident in the world that will be here long after I'm gone because of people like you. So I just wanted to put that out there. Now, you guys, if you would like to, and tell us, I'm going to put, these are the links where you can check out more of what Justin Hurdle Price is doing. Tell us what we're looking at here. This is a summit. Is this coming up? What is this?
Yes. So this first link is to our online summit, our On the Matter of Race program that my mom and I, Dr. Lynn Maureen Hurdle, perform, is teaching white people specifically about systemic racism and their role in it and how they can combat it. And we do this summit. It's for everyone, but we have our guests not our guests, our panelists from different levels and from different groups in our program speak about their experience being a white person and learning that, you know, they have a role in this and what their work is combating it. But we also bring in speakers of all different races, creeds, religions, and people of color to speak about, you know, work that they're doing in the world and, you know, what their hopes are for the future. And, you know, those are people of all different, you know, statuses. So we have our own doctors and CEOs and whatever, but we also have, you know, single parents and we were about to bring in, you know, one of my best friends who's 21 as well. And
Nice.
he's actually a white male himself. So that's going to be an interesting conversation we're going to have on there. So it's really just to, you know, bring more awareness to the fact that, you know, if we all are with this one human race, we have to be able to come together in these types of ways and address some of these things that, you know, we need to heal.
And what is the one scrolling along the bottom / matter of race?
Yes. So this is our On the Matter of Race level 1 drop page. This is for, you know, the white people that want to learn about systemic racism. This is for the white people who have a friend of color who have, you know, they've never spoken to race about, you know, and things like that. This is for the white person who has a black child and they want to learn how to better serve them and better be a better ally to them. That is our whole, you know, that's our audience. We're aiming for white people because we recognize that, yes, a lot of this stuff is, you know, it's happening to people of color, but they have a role too. They have their own hurt too, and they have their own healing to do as well. And so, any white person that you feel, you know, could use some education, but also just the space to talk about their experiences without fear of getting canceled or slapped or judged or anything like that, so that they can better serve their people of color in their lives. Bring them our way. That's the level 1 drop page.
Lord have mercy. That was.
I was gonna say, I think you muted.
No, I was because I was crunching my I was chewing up the rest of my cough drop, and I didn't want to. You know, I do it when I do that, and I do it when I pour my coffee because somebody told me it sounded like I was peeing. When they can't see this, but they can hear it right here by the microphone. So I'm like, oh Lord, right. Yeah. So sorry about that, but I want to say thank you so much. I'm so encouraged, so inspired, and so very uplifted. Thank you so much, Justin Hurdle Prize, for pouring into us here today about a topic that is much needed, and we need much more conversation. So hang out backstage for just a moment. I promise I won't keep you more than a few minutes. Absolutely. And we'll put something together real quick about that 90-minute special. You guys use the links. I'm going to take the liberty of dropping both of them inside your chat, your comment section for easy access right at the conclusion of today's broadcast. Also, I'll be dropping that full link for the YouTube video we started to watch in case you want to finish that as well. Thank you, you all. Today is a great day. Tomorrow will be even better. And then the next day will be even better than that. God willing, I plan to meet all of you right out front on the front porch Monday morning at 8 a.m. Central. So together we can create yet another divine moment in memory in time. Get out there, be the best you can be, and leave the rest to what is greater than all of us. Can I get an amen? All right, Justin, tell your mom I said hello. And thank you again. Great job today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was an honor.
Of course. Bye, everybody. Be the blessing you want to see in the world. I love you, and you can't do a damn thing about it. See ya.